Political suicide. As Donald Trump destroys America, Democrats destroy themselves. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graphs Grievances starts right now. As the United States faces the greatest threat to its democracy in modern history, led by Donald Trump and an obedient, complicit Republican Party, the Democratic Party has found a way to turn on itself. You heard that right. David Hogg, elected vice chair of the Democratic National Committee just 3 months ago, is now spearheading a multi-million-dollar campaign to primary his fellow Democrats. At just 25 years old, Hogg first rose to national prominence as an outspoken advocate for gun control after surviving the 2018 high school shooting in Parkland, Florida, where 17 of his classmates and teachers were killed. Since then, he's become an active player in Democratic politics and a formidable fundraiser. In 2023, he co-founded Leaders We Deserve, a political action committee aiming to elect young progressives to Congress and state legislatures. Now, despite being the youngest and first Gen Z vice chair of the DNC, Hogg plans to use Leaders We Deserve to intervene in Democratic primaries in solid blue districts, trying to unseat older incumbents and install younger, more progressive leaders. Let's be clear, Leaders We Deserve is a PAC. It can support any candidate it chooses, but the DNC's job isn't to defeat Democrats, it's to elect them. Still, Hogg doesn't seem concerned about the conflict of interest. He told the New York Times his plan will, quote, anger a lot of people and likely trigger a, quote, smear campaign to destroy my reputation and try to force me to stop doing this. Honestly, that sounds self-absorbed and a bit melodramatic. Here's why all of this matters. Hogg wasn't elected DNC vice chair to wage war on Democrats. He was elected to help them win. Every dollar spent attacking sitting Democratic lawmakers in safe districts is a dollar not spent defeating Republicans in swing races. It's really that simple. Sure, I have policy disagreements with some Democratic lawmakers. And yes, some are far too old to still be in Congress. But unlike Hogg, I believe in democracy. And that includes respecting primary voters to choose their own nominees. Ken Martin, the new DNC chair, agrees. In response to Hogg's plan, he reiterated that, quote, it is the DNC's longstanding position that primary voters, not the national party, determine their Democratic candidates for the general election. So why doesn't Hogg get that? Maybe it has something to do with the chaos that's defined the last few years. Trump's authoritarian ambition and the DNC's outrageous decision to oust Joe Biden as the party's presidential nominee, despite Biden winning the 2024 primary. Here on Grievances, I've spent tons of episodes explaining why Trump is not just dangerous. He's the most destructive political force this country has ever seen. He has openly threatened to terminate the Constitution. He wants unchecked power. And now he's backed by a Republican Party and a Supreme Court too spineless or too complicit to stop him. But the answer to a right-wing strongman is not a left-wing one. Replacing Trump with a younger, progressive authoritarian won't save our democracy. It just breaks it in a different direction. Democrats should be building coalitions, listening to voters, writing policy that meets people's needs. and then earning their support. And when over 14 million primary voters selected Joe Biden to lead the ticket last year, the party shouldn't discard him for being too old or too white. How'd that work out? In 2020, we heard the same tired claims that Biden was past his prime. And yet, Democrats chose him and he beat Trump by more than 7 million votes, receiving more votes than any presidential candidate in American history. None of this is to say we don't need younger voices in Congress. We absolutely do. The average age in the House is 57. In the Senate, it's 64. But party-backed purges aren't the way to get there. Democracy is. And let's stop pretending age alone is a disqualifier. Just compare Nancy Pelosi, who, at 85 years old, was more effective than any Republican speaker in the last 2 decades, including John Boehner, Paul Ryan, Kevin McCarthy, and Mike Johnson. Not one of those white men passed more meaningful legislation than Nancy Pelosi. And as Democrats struggle to regain their footing in the early months of Trump's second administration, there's one person still packing arenas with tens of thousands of people across the country. That man, Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. He's 83 years old and showing no signs of slowing down. If Democrats want to save democracy, they need to stop tearing themselves apart. Now is not the time for purity tests or generational infighting. It's time to unite, protect institutions, and earn the trust of the American people. Because in a battle this existential, political suicide isn't just self-destructive. It's national sabotage. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.